Let's play. What's up, guys? Pokemon here with episode, whatever this is, 45 of a Minecraft Let's Play series. Today is Wednesday, January 14th. Has come on a little screen there. So, yeah. What have I done in the past 2 days? Not really anything. Survived most of my exams. The exam today was a fun. Exam yesterday was also fun. Did a weird thing. Kind of slept for a lot of yesterday. I got home and immediately crashed, so that was interesting. I do retract a statement that I made a little earlier on. Sleep is actually quite nice. Only thing is, it really consumes a lot. Like, a lot. Just to sound like Peanut for a second. So, what are we going to be doing today? Well, I completed my entire land bridge the last episode, so I don't really have much planned for this episode, you know? I'm just going to throw everything in here. Just going to get rid of my inventory. Why, I don't know. And, yeah. I don't know what, I don't know what this episode is going to be like. So, bear with me a little bit, and we will see where it goes. There's a skeleton. That was unexpected. I'm going to hide behind this wall. He's going to be forced to come to me. So then he can't come kill me. That will be fine. And we can eat some bread so then I can recharge that health. Let's go pick the wheat. Actually, you know we should do... Honestly, I want to go explore some more, but I've extended this map so far. Notice that my wooden bridge does not appear on the map. That's actually quite interesting. Let me see this other map. Doesn't it barely appears on there? Huh. It'll be interesting to see what size the bridge has to be in order for it to appear. Like, you can see all the basic buildings on the map here, and they're all pretty nice. But on the bigger map, you can't see any of this specifically. They're all like a tiny little clump, but it also looks like an island. So, what are we gonna do? Again, I'm not sure. This is sort of the episode where it's literally almost 10 o'clock and I'm just kind of gonna talk for, a long time. Where did the skeleton go? Here he is right here. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of him. There we go. Still got that cough from like 5 days ago. Fun times. So let's see. Let me talk about the finals I had to do today. Today was forensics. Still gotta finish my teacher's card for that class. Hopefully he will be very happy to receive it tomorrow. I could not get it to him today simply because I ran out of time. And obviously I want to make it really long and meaningful as well. So that's all good there. Actually, no, I didn't. I'm trying to think because I'm trying to make sure that I don't get confused between this world and the other world. The other world I accidentally went into on the last video. Yeah, that one. Um, yeah, I didn't get confused. Okay. So, I'm really not sure what I'm doing. I'm just sort of walking around. I'm gonna have to invent some new stuff to do. But what I was thinking about earlier today, I know I've mentioned this a million different times before, but just sort of the different things I look up on the internet, the different things I've enjoyed on the internet. I was listening to a bunch of Bryce uh, yesterday. For those of you who don't know what that is, he's basically part of Machinima, and he makes musical parodies and other fun songs for video games. And I was listening to a good 5 or 10 of them, and it just sort of it took me back a little bit. It because it had been a while since I sat down and listened to all of those songs, and I realized to myself, no one else is gonna know what these songs are. It was a very creepy thought to me, almost, because it just sort of screams at me, hey, no one knows what you know. And so, being aware of that, gotta be careful. I have been wanting to show a whole bunch of people the different parodies that I listen to, but I've almost been scared to because of the fact that, again, most people will not understand it. And that just sort of goes back to the whole me being weird about YouTube and not watching what most people will watch. There's that. And then that just compiles itself into into not watching, popular channels. Speaking of popular channels, that's a great transition into what the YouTube recap was this year. And so it was one of those years where I didn't recognize basically any. I think I talked about this already, but where I didn't recognize any of the channels because they highlighted a whole bunch of people I just didn't watch. I mean, I've talked about this before. 90% of my YouTube content is Rooster Teeth related now. I've really become sort of sheltered, sort of in that company. And just no one else has. No one else has really even shown an interest in it. They're all just like, Rooster Teeth? What is that? I'm going to go watch Smosh because they sound better. Can't hate Smosh, though. They've been around since, 2006? Something ridiculous. So they'll be hitting their 10-year anniversary soon, so congratulations to them. Here's 10 more years and whatnot. I personally never had an issue with them. I've just never been a big fan. I've just never been a big dedicated fan to that channel. I've been more of a Ray William Johnson guy who just went completely off the rails. By now, he just hates what YouTube's become, as have I, but that was a different conversation. Anyway, let's move on. What's an interesting conversation I've had in the last few days? Immigration. This is gonna be fun. So, one of my friends suggested something. And it's a very intriguing idea to me. Have no formal borders for any country, but have every single piece of property be privately owned. By definition, illegals cannot, how you define illegals, cannot be on private property without prosecution. So, using that, would everything being owned by private property owners, would that be a form of border? Would that be a border in of itself? And then how would one gain other land? That's the little Kaspersky thing. God, that thing needs to go to hell. Is basically telling me, oh, make an account so you can do this and this and this. And it's just like, calm down. I'm not going to do that. Good lord. I just keep hitting remind me later. It's like the WaterFox thing. I think for WaterFox, I am on, version 16. And it's up to, version 32. Most of you guys are like, what in the world is WaterFox? It's basically a more secure version of Firefox. And of course, Google Chrome is probably the most insecure one ever, next to Internet Explorer, simply because Google just tracks everything. They do it for fun. They basically, I remember I was talking about on this channel, I was talking about Microsoft banning people off Xbox Live for swearing on Skype, for example. That was something that happened. And, people always say, oh, you know what you're talking about, you're wrong, all this stuff. The problem is I'm not. I don't know how else to say that. And they say, oh, prove it. And it's just like, they give me a CNN article, and I'm just, or an MSNBC article, and I just say to them, those companies are not going to report on this stuff. I'll be lucky to get a Fox News article on something like that. Could you imagine Fox News reporting, Microsoft bans Xbox Live accounts for swearing on Skype? There will never be a headline about that. Ever. And so I've just sort of looked at CNN and MSNBC and even Fox News and just basically the mainstream, as we call it, the mainstream, quote unquote, media as BS, honestly. I wouldn't say controlled by the government because that's way too far considering what I've learned about with like China and whatnot in AB ComGov. But I will say influenced. They do censor certain things out because the government doesn't want certain things getting out. Does that make sense? Um, and they will report things in certain ways in order for the government to look more credible, in order for people to be on the side of the government, you know, et cetera, and all that stuff. Um, Sorry to go off on that little tangent. um, but again, back to the whole immigration thing with private property and no borders. The idea really intrigued me because, you know, legally, that could totally work. You can't infringe upon someone else's private property right. Problem is, there's no such thing as private property in this country anymore, you know, according to some people that I know as well. Um, and there isn't. I mean, if you look at, I'm trying to think here. If you look at the ability for people to pay off their mortgage, it's not that much. And then once you do that, some people say you own your house at that point. Some people say you still don't. I believe you don't because of eminent domain and all of that stuff, where the government can just walk up one day and be like, "Yeah, we need your land for like a construction project or something." Like best example is a highway or a road or something. They can hand you the. I think they have to hand you the money equal to your property's value. Maybe equal or half. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly which one it is. But yeah, they can just walk up and do that. That's a thing that they can do. Um, and just kind of leave you out on the street, nowhere to go. So yeah, that's a thing. um, and just other things like that that have made this country very, very interesting place to live, to say the least. I don't know why I decided to go off on this tangent. I really didn't want to on this episode. Because talking about all this has just not been good. See, I got a brief interruption, so now that allows me to break my train of thought. Sorry, to you guys that looks like a flawless transition, but to me that was a few minutes of interruptions from the fam and whatnot. But yeah, it usually gets me in trouble when I start talking about this kind of stuff, especially at school. I've pretty much not talked about this at school. Simply because, again, people flip out. Like, I know a few certain people, you mentioned Edward Snowden around them, and they just go, oh, you know, traitor to America and all of this stuff. I love those people to death, but at the same time. And I mean, I realize that I'm closed-minded towards certain things, too. People have never failed in pointing that out, and I'm always glad when they point out something like that, because that makes me less of a closed-minded person when I realize what the error is. You know? So, this is quite the navigation here. Huh. Alright. I think we're back to like our main little area. This has sort of just been a random adventure of chopping down trees, talking about politics. I will definitely try to have something planned specifically for next episode. Because this was kind of bad. I will be honest. It's also gonna be a really short episode, just because I still gotta write the card. I only got 2 hours to do it. But I do want to say a few more things before I do get off here. One, Just Cause 2. It's definitely a game I'm looking into doing videos for because I've been playing it over the past day or so, and it's just been so much fun. It's just as much fun as I remember it being. It's awesome. So I will definitely be getting into that a little bit. Let's see, what else was I going to say? This weekend is a 5-day weekend for people in my area. So I would definitely be more active, I would hope. Hopefully me being more active means that I can start doing the Xbox content, I hope. Let's see what else is there. I don't know, just crazy shenanigans are gonna go on during the weekend. You gotta love that word, shenanigans. Um, I don't really know what else to say. You know, that's a lot of dirt. Jesus Christ. I can sometimes forget how much of stuff you have. Um, I gotta show it all off here. So those are just sort of the other things that I wanted to mention. Everybody in my life's doing great. Everybody's trying to desperately survive their exams. Liv's got a crazy exam tomorrow. I remember when I was all the way back in freshman year taking geometry. That was a fun class. We had a bunch of people who didn't care, and it was great. But that's how a lot of the standard math classes are. Yeah. That was something that always surprises people. I've taken all standard math classes since middle school simply because I was not allowed to move up. I mean, the school literally said at every juncture, no, we are not going to allow you to move up. Because, they gave the reason, oh, you can't handle the work, or, some BS reason like that. What the honors program in my school eventually leads you to is calculus. And doing the math on certain people's schedules, they'll hit the AP calculus class, and you guys don't know what that is. You can look it up on the College Board. Oh my God, they'll hit that by their senior year. Good gald. What they're dealing with now is nothing compared to that behemoth of a class. I mean, since I'm a senior in high school, I get to hear all of the other seniors complaining about the class and complaining about the incompetent teachers and whatnot. So that's always fun. Not really. I just hope things get better before the people that I really care about arrive. But, it's none of my... As one of my good old friends would say, that's none of my business. I'm not going to finish the rest of that, though. Oh, God. So, I think we're sort of coming up to the end here. Again, tomorrow I have my AP Macroeconomics exam, or midterm, I should say. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm glad to finally be able to get back into economics, and then I'll be taking a huge break from school, and then it'll be my last semester of high school. Kind of scary. So, thank you guys for watching episode 45. Hopefully, it's episode 45. I hope I'm doing the math right. Again, I apologize for the somewhat crappy episode. I will be upfront and honest with you guys. This is not the best episode I've done. Hopefully Fridays will be better. If it can't be, I will release on Saturday just to sort of increase the quality. If I establish a schedule and the video comes out a day late, that's to ensure the quality of the video. Because I don't want another situation like this end up happening where I jump in, I chop down a few trees, I talk some crap, and then I stop. I don't want that to happen again, Also, if I mention something, I just thought of this too. If I mention something that you've said in one of these videos and I sort of give my opinion on it, why I do that, I figured I might as well explain it right now. Why I do that is so then I can talk about what you've said without instantly getting a response from you. Because a lot of people that I've met, when you talk to them about something, they will, hello Enderman. They'll try to cut you off a little bit. They will try to sort of meld what you're saying into what they want. I notice this with a lot of my teachers. The good old forensics teacher, kind of infamous for this. Sort of a drawback, I guess, of getting older is that you have a set answer in your mind and you don't want the conversation to deviate from that answer. I've seen it with my parents a few times, seen it with my grandparents a few times. I myself have even done that once or twice already, so I've got to make sure that I don't do that. But yeah, no, this is just a way for me to freely respond to someone, and then for them, hopefully, to respond to me back, and we can sort of keep the conversation going. Liv and Cat have definitely done that a little bit as well as Coda has. Snowy has obviously. Yum has obviously. Jumbo has obviously. I'm just going through all the people now. Just all of the great people that I know, honestly. Um, Weird fact: everyone I just mentioned is younger than me. Think about that for a second. Like, yeah, just gonna leave it there. But I just noticed I get along with a lot of people, and I noticed that the younger friends that I have, for whatever reason, are more willing to support what I'm doing, and I'm always really honored to have that support from them. Um, Because a lot of the people in my grade, they're too concerned with college. They're too concerned with their grades. They're very self-centered, very self-centered. And it's really bad. And I don't know. I've just tried my best to not be that way. Has it cost me? Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely created a lot of extra stress. For example, but I like to think that by caring for other people more than I care about myself, I hope that I have not isolated myself from the people I care about, and I hope that when the people I really care about need somebody to be there for them, that I'll end up being that person. I've talked about this with more than a few of the people that I just mentioned before. Most people wonder why in the world I want to be that person. Just the way I am. And I've obviously mentioned this before too. Just the way I am, I want to be there to support people, etc., etc. I gotta find some new stuff to talk about. um, and while there is some truth to that statement, I've also got to find a new game to play. Because, as you can see, we've sort of hit a little bit of a plateau in the Minecraft world. We're going to need to find something else to sort of get that over the top a little bit. Yeah. Apologize for the long ramblings and whatnot. But as I always say, it's only rambling if you make it rambling. So, until next time, guys, I'll see you guys probably in a few days. Have a great day, night, week, month, year, decade, century. Wait, I missed one. Day, night, week, weekend, month, year, decade, century, millennia, era, eon. I think that's it. Aliens of the future, and all that jazz. It's never gonna get old for me. Let's stop.